Hello everybody. I'm very excited to welcome everyone to our third podcast. And today I'm very excited to welcome Miss Aurelie from Source of Asia. And today we will be talking about workforce readiness in a world that is continuously changing, given a lot of geopolitics, things going on in the economy, and so on. So I'm very grateful for Aurelie's time to have allowed us to shoot in her wonderful office, which they've just renovated. And I don't know if you can see our background here, which is very nice. We have a lovely view. And so today, Aurelie will introduce herself very shortly. But I've had the pleasure of knowing Aurelie now for over a year. How long has it been? Yeah, over a year.
I
think So we've known each other for a while now, and originally, actually, we met at the Park Hyatt here in Vietnam, and the purpose was actually to kind of understand some of the initiatives that she was looking to implement at Source of Asia. So, without further ado, I'd love to introduce Aurelie, if you'd like to share a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Cedric. Thank you for having me today during this podcast. So I'm very touched.
Sure, and don't worry, relax. I know it's okay if we say this live. Like, don't worry, this is an authentic conversation. I know maybe you're not very used to it, but I know that a lot of people who are going to be listening are going to be very interested in your story.
Thank you. So yes, so in fact, my career has developed with major corporations listed on the stock exchange.
Okay.
So for like almost 20 years, more than 20 years, yes. And in fact, I wanted to change and to learn more about what can be the challenge for another type of organization with a smaller size. And so I realized that, yes, challenge and also experience are completely different, and it's very exciting. So that's why I joined SOA, Source of Asia, as a country manager today.
And then you mentioned then that you work for some large companies. Would you mind maybe sharing a little bit more what it is that you were doing at these companies? And what these companies were?
In fact, it's a Société Générale. So I was a branch director in Paris in banking retail.
Okay.
And after that, so it was Veolia. So it's environmental solutions and service provider. And I was a chief representative and a COO in Vietnam. And also, I was also participating in the development of big projects in Southeast Asia.
I see. So you started in banking. So into school, business school, then went into banking. And for those who don't know, Société Générale is a very large French bank, probably one of the top 3 or top 4. And then you went to another giant, which is Veolia. But that's quite a big, I would say, quite a different industry. What was the reason you decided to go from banking to waste and environmental solutions?
At that time, I wanted to change the sector of my activity and to have something more meaningful for me. And yes, it's completely different sectors, but in fact, I would say my skills could be used, in fact,
interchangeably.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. And so that's why. After, of course, you need to adapt to a new, I would say, new technical, for example, skills, and I learn a lot also, and I learn a lot in terms of technical words and system and everything. So yeah.
And I'm curious. So there was a very key point that you said, that there were a lot of skills that you thought can be transferred from banking to your new job at Veolia. Can you share a little bit of the types of skills that you thought were easy to kind of transition over?
I guess it was the team management and the leadership, and also to have a global view of the business and of the also your team. So that I think that you can apply it in every sectors.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would say it's more the soft skills then?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, thank you for that. All right, interesting, I say journey, I would say. And then you decided to go from big companies to some, I would not call Source of Asia like a startup, but it is a smaller company. What was the kind of thinking when you were from Veolia to Source of Asia? You shared a little bit already, but maybe give us a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that the challenges are completely different. And also the resources also are different, but it doesn't mean that you cannot make something great too.
Of course.
And I think that I wanted to contribute with my experience and skills to a smaller organization because I think that it could be more impactful and also having I would say a different way to manage and to lead the team. You are closer to people when you are a smaller organization.
True.
And yeah, so it's I think it's easier in terms of interaction with people, direct interaction.
Because a lot of the things that you've shared is really very people focused. So you mentioned it's different way to manage them. You have a different impact when working with people. You build different types of relationships. I think that's also why a lot of people, like you said, find that working in certain large organizations is maybe they don't find their purpose there. They feel like they are just a small piece in a very, very large machine. And I do see that more and more folks are moving away from big companies, even if the pay is maybe a bit lower than what they were paid before, but they're looking for that meaning, they're looking for fulfillment in their life. Yeah. Would you say that that's true as well?
But in fact, I was more looking for a company who focus more on people management and not only on financial data management.
I see.
But after, as I mentioned, challenges are completely different.
Yeah,
so I'm not judging. Just me at that time, I had the need again to join another type of company.
Okay, well, that's very admirable. I like that. And I think, so you've kind of introduced that you now work for Source of Asia or SOA. Can you maybe share a little bit for the folks that are listening in? So what is Source of Asia? What do you guys do? Because I think maybe folks may not be very familiar.
Yes, so Source of Asia, SOA, so we are a one-stop shop, meaning that whether you are a large or a small entity organization, whether you know you are familiar or not familiar with the market. In fact, so we are here to provide you all you need to do your expansion abroad. So we have 4 expertises. And so market extension, sourcing and supply chain, corporate service and HR solutions, and M&E. So in fact, our 4 expertises cover all your needs, and so we are able, in fact, to provide you all the resources that you need.
Fantastic. So if I can kind of summarize, I mean, it's cheating a little bit because I know you and I know the company, but based on what you're saying right now, essentially SOA is it's a professional services firm in some way that allows any client that may have different needs, whether they want to come to Vietnam or whether they're looking for HR talent or whatever it is that they need, you can fulfill those needs.
Yeah, but it's not only focused on Vietnam, it's really dedicated to Southeast Asia area and also Korea. Yeah, we have
Southeast Asia and Korea.
Yes, we have a desk at Korea. And so I think that it's a great company, and we are able to achieve a lot of projects and beautiful projects. So, yeah.
Fantastic. And would you say that your clients are more international, trying to look at Southeast Asia and Korea, or are they more kind of local companies that are also looking to go outside? What does that look like?
Both, in fact.
Okay.
Yeah, both. We have international client, so who looks to have a link with the area or in Vietnam, in these 4 areas that I mentioned earlier, and also we have local company who are looking for expanding their business in other market, meaning in European market or US market. So yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So just to reiterate, international clients who are looking to come here, and also local companies that need help possibly to then go abroad, and you guys can manage the whole, I guess, end-to-end in terms of solutions.
Yes, right.
Fantastic. Shifting it a little bit, what I wanted to know as well is, because you have clients in international markets and locally, how do you manage that with your team today? Because you have to work with clients from different countries, different places, different cultures. So how do you create a culture and a team to be able to handle that?
In fact, I think that our team is very open-minded and really willing to learn.
Okay.
And so it's like a collective intelligence, I would say, that in fact we support and we share all our experience to each other. Okay. And in the team, so you have Vietnamese people, but also foreigner people, and I think that when we work together, we learn the culture also from each other,
so it's a melting pot,
right,
of different skills, different backgrounds,
exactly.
Different interests, and so on. Okay, so you think that this is one of the key ingredients that has made SOA successful?
Yeah, and also we organize workshops for the team. So the workshop can be led by one team member who has an expertise in a specific area or topics, or it can be also for external experts. So yeah.
All right, cool. So Aurelie, you've shared a little bit about SOA, you've shared a little bit about your background. I think because this is a podcast about Skills Quotient and how companies learn and adapt to the times, so I'd be curious to get your take on what do you think, or what are initiatives that you guys are implementing here at SOA within your organization? You've mentioned to me many exciting things that you're doing. Can you maybe share a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So in fact, for each newcomer, they start their first day with a gift.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
We welcome them with a gift. And they have always a nice word from our board of management, our CEO and COO. Okay. And we organize also a time to introduce the newcomer to all the team members, and also with me as a country manager. Okay. So I spend 30 minutes with all the newcomers to know more about them, and also they can know more about me. So it's one of our first.
Okay. What's the gift that they get?
You need to
be hired. Work here? Okay.
You need to join the team.
I'm almost part of the team. In progress. Yeah. Okay, so that's the onboarding.
Yes, okay, it's for the onboarding process. And so we also foster our company, sorry, I don't forget. So we have also our 4 core values, company values, which is so think out of the box, care, okay, confidence, and expertise. Okay. Yeah, so it's a value that we share with the newcomer too. Okay. And but even before during the interview, they know already, and when they join, so we reinforce these values. Okay. And for after the onboarding for our current team members. So we have developed a program. It's called My Path to Grow.
My Path to Grow.
Right.
Okay.
So it's really dedicated to to the team member and to their skills, and also the way that they want to grow.
I see.
And so it's a full process. So during the year, so it starts with annual meeting with your line manager, just to review, in fact, the past months, and also to share regarding your new goals, your goals, and the direction that you want to take for your career.
For your career.
Exactly. And after that, you have the learning and development plan. So we really want that they take the ownership of their learning and development plan. And also they have a few months to think about it and to submit a plan to the line manager, and they can together, in fact, work on it, make some change or improvement if needed.
Okay.
And once it's done, so after it's the team member who starts his training plan.
Okay.
And for that, the company give a base of tools and with a digital platform.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. But it's not the only tools that they have. They need also to be proactive, because it's something that we value too, the proactivity and the accountability. So they need also to find by their own the proper tools to go through their training and development plan.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to be very honest. We've worked with quite a lot of companies, and there are actually not that many companies that take, this full development process as seriously as you guys. And I mean that even for very large companies. So we work with some publicly listed companies, and even they don't go so in depth in terms of the development of their people. So I think it's a nice culture of learning and training that you've built. And we're very proud to contribute a little bit to that as well. But I just want to say kudos overall. I think it's very cool.
Thank you. But it's part of our core values. So care is a care of our people and our customer. Our people first.
Okay. So there you go, folks. If you come work at SOA, they will take good care of you. They'll train you well. They'll make sure that you develop. And I think that that's really important for preparing for the future and for this company to kind of scale and grow in the future as well.
Sure. And we have also club activities. In fact, it's something that we have launched this year. So in fact, if a team member wants to share a passion or something that, an activity to do with the others, so they can create a club.
Cool.
And so the company sponsor the club to encourage people.
Can you give me some examples of clubs that have been made?
So we have the yoga club.
Yes, this one I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yoga pickleball club.
Oh, okay. Are you part of that one?
Yeah,
okay.
I just discovered it, and it's amazing. I didn't know anything about pickleball, and I tried 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm a big fan.
Okay. Nice.
We have a badminton club too.
Okay.
And so many, and also a running club.
Oh, that's not for me. Okay.
But so many also is coming to be built.
No golf club.
Not yet.
Okay.
But when you will,
I'm gonna brainwash everybody. We're gonna make a golf club.
And why? Because it's I think that they can learn how to manage, in fact, and to the project to share their passion. It's not directly linked to work. So,
work directly,
right?
Yeah.
So it's much easier, I guess, and also to bring fun in the learning.
It helps them bond in a different way outside of the office, where you're correct though, but it still uses a lot of soft skills. They have to organize the time, when it's going to happen, set up a budget for it. So it's kind of like a job, but it's a different job in a way. And I think those build good soft skills. It reminds me of my time in university in the US. They also did similar things. So I think it's an important part of having a balanced kind of work-life environment.
Yes.
Cool. And full disclosure as well, I know we talked about it just very little bit, but it's true that SOA and OOOLAB are partnering together, right? I mean, that's a little bit why we're doing this as well, but really, I wanted to showcase SOA because I think you guys are a good example of a company culture that I like personally. And I think it also comes from the top. I mean, it has to come from the bottom and from the top, and it meets somewhere in the middle. But I like that you really invest in your people. I can see, when we come here, people are smiling, they're having a nice time. And sometimes you don't feel that when I go to a client office, it feels the vibe is not there, to use some Gen Z lingo. So I just want to congratulate you on that.
But it's also thanks to our board of management, our CEO and COO, because we have their full support.
Nice.
So it's great, and yes, and also we renovate the office also to offer very nice environment to our people and also to our customer when they visit us. So yeah.
And out of curiosity, do you offer any remote work?
Sure. Yeah. It's
what's your philosophy on that? Actually, I'm curious.
So we are flexible. In fact, so in our business, and also it's a part of our added value, our strength is to be able to be flexible and to adapt. Right. Okay. I like that. So for us, it was totally obvious that internally we should be flexible too, and so our people, they can have working from home, so 1 day per week, so they choose which day, we trust that our people are responsible to manage their work and also to adapt their working time,
their life schedule. Sometimes they have things to do,
and we have also working from anywhere.
Okay.
So it's perhaps you want to travel for your for a business trip or for your vacation holidays, and so you can extend and working from anywhere, meaning in overseas or not at home. Nice. So yeah, so you have 2 days during the year too, and in fact we don't, of course, we have like official working hours, but we are not here to
count every hour,
exactly.
Every minute. Okay.
So
not like a big corporate.
Yes, right.
Not like a bank, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but even that, yeah, right.
Okay. So, okay, very cool. And I'm also very excited about our partnership where hopefully we can contribute to this culture of learning as well. I know that both our teams have been very busy building courses and implementing them to provide more benefits to the team. And so we're quite excited about that as well. So let's shift gears a little bit now. So I think now we have a pretty good understanding of how SOA works and what it is in terms of the culture that you've built. But now let's shift a little bit more. Let's look at the kind of more macro picture that's going on in the world.
Before that, I just want also to add that also SOA people, they are very keen to learn, and in fact, most of them they are doing additional training and certifications.
Okay, great.
And so we are very proud of that too. And so also regarding the working time, we are flexible for that.
So that they can spend time to learn.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
that's a good benefit. Okay, fantastic. Anything else you want to share? So yeah, guys, if you want to work in a cool company, cool environment, would recommend to a friend. So okay, then let's go back then to my previous question as well. So let me just say it one more time. So you guys have clients all over the world, or you have clients here and all over the world. And you have an international team that's kind of a melting pot of different kind of skills, diversity in terms of background and so on. But the world is changing very quickly, as we've seen the last, since the beginning of the year, but even before that. So I guess, what are some trends that you've seen that have impacted you or your clients? What are the things that you think that are going to happen perhaps in the near future? and any advice on how you're navigating that?
Yeah, it's true that regarding the recent news, no, in fact we still confident because global trade makes country interdependent. So of course any decision or action by governments can have an economic impact. So it's not the first time that we are facing to abrupt and extreme change. So I will not mention the US tariff, but it's one of the common. But but it's part of the globalization.
And doing business in general, right?
Yes, and doing business in general. And so in fact, so crises often create opportunities.
Sure.
And we are enough resilient, in fact, to face and to go through this situation. So for us, is yes, it's part of the business.
Okay.
So it's nothing much.
Nothing unusual. It's another day at the office.
So no panic at all. So we still confident.
For your clients, though, have you seen any impacts for them? So you guys are doing
Sure.
You guys are doing well. How's that? How are your clients reacting so far?
No, of course, our client. So first, with the announcement and everything, everyone was panicking, and in fact, so it's also our job to assure our client that okay, fine, so they can lean on our expertise and also local presence to be, I would say, enough agile and flexible to find and to provide solutions or alternative options.
Okay.
So yeah, so we are closer to our client in this particular time. Yeah, so.
Okay, very good. But then in terms of your internal team, do you think that there are any changes internally that you've had to implement to adapt to these new times? Are there any new skills or competencies or things that you look for in candidates that require you to think differently?
I think that all of our team had this competency to be flexible and agile. Yes, they are reactive, and it's also something that we look for our new team members, newcomers, and also they take the ownership also more and more about their commitment to the clients, and so it's all the care, also care of our customer or of our clients.
In terms of your, I see that your business is very much driven by people at the end of the day, right? And I like that because I think in this world of kind of AI and technology, it's true that there are going to be certain industries and jobs that will be maybe more automated, for sure. The world changes all the time. But I think companies that will endure will also double down on what it is to be human. And that at the end of the day, we are social creatures, we all work together. And I think that even with this technology, it will still require us to build these soft skills even more.
Fully agree. And and in fact, also one of our team qualities that think out of the box. So so we are creative in terms of solutions to provide, and and in fact they are not alone.
Sure.
So it's really a team collaboration work, and so if you combine all the expertises, there is no way that it doesn't work.
Sure. And okay, so now we focus kind of on the world, we focus on how SOA is kind of managing, training its team and the culture that you guys have built. I guess, do you have any advice for other companies in the world in terms of this changing world that we're going through? What would be advice that you would give for them? You know, you're in a position of leadership, you are a strong woman. What do you advise to other people in the world right now that are also leading organizations, companies, in whatever capacity?
Wow, it's a challenging question.
Take your time. No.
I don't know if I can advise. I can share my experience. It's not an advice. I'm just sharing my experience. I think that I was very lucky in my career to have to meet people who. And to have mentors who were willing to share their experience and their knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So of course you start with books and everything, but for me, I think that the best school is it's life, the experience, and having encounters with people is you will learn something that you won't find it in the book, and you will experience it. You will experience things that you won't find in a book. So it's really interaction with people and also in the action. And I think that you can develop an agility and flexibility and also adaptability. So trust yourself, your team, and your organization to have this. I will say. To be resilient and to find proper solutions to face to any situation.
Okay. But every time you talk about this, we always go back to the same thing. It's really about developing soft skills at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's about character, it's about grit. I don't say that in a bad way. Huh? I say that in a good way, because it's not that you mention like, hey, we need to be more analytical and we need to be able to process information very quickly. Everything that you've gone back to every time, which I like, is that at the end of the day, what will drive us and bring us together and also help us succeed is our humanity. And I think in our company we've kind of viewed this through the similar lens as well. If we look at kind of the evolution of how we view the world, so in the beginning we focused on intellect, so knowledge, so IQ, right? And then we shifted. It's still important, but then we decided, okay, even though you are intelligent, it is also important for you to develop good EQ and emotional quotient, right? So being able to understand others. And now everything that you've shared with me, resilience, grit, perseverance, flexibility, to me is about having certain skills as well, soft skills, certain attitudes. And I feel like this is kind of what we have been pushing for, is now we are trending towards what we call skills quotient, or SQ. And I think this will also evolve in time. But given that now AI can handle basically all the IQ stuff, so knowledge, being able to analyze stuff, all of that is being handled by technology. But the EQ and the SQ part are still, I think, very much important today. And I think you keep coming back to that.
I think, of course, it's important to have like hard skills. Sure. But what makes the difference, I guess, is the soft skills. For me, I'm very totally convinced about that.
All in.
Yeah, I'm all in on it. Yeah. For me, it's what I learned from my experience.
Sure.
So.
Okay. So, Aurelie, thank you so much for your time today. I think it was a pretty interesting conversation. I think now we kind of just want to wrap this up a little bit and really focus on kind of key highlights that you think are important. But let me help you out a little bit. So these are my takeaways. All right. So I think focusing on kind of your background, I think you've always been a people person to a very large degree. And I think that served you quite well in your career. And even though, okay, maybe you've worked at certain big companies, it seems that you learned a lot and you built transferable skills, which again tended to be more soft skills that you brought on to now at Source of Asia, or SOA. And from everything you've shared, it seems that the success of SOA due in part to your board of directors and C-suite, has been due to the fact that you really care about your team, that you've really built them up and emphasized developing their skills, developing their whole person, not just their professional skills. And that's been driven both by the top, but also even from your employees themselves. And then to kind of summarize some of the later points that we talked about, I think you mentioned that because the world is changing very quickly, that it's important to be resilient, to be flexible, to be adaptable. And then my view was that this is really kind of a shift going away from IQ, EQ, although now EQ is still relevant, and then now towards more SQ, which is this kind of skills, competency aspect. So is there anything, I tried to summarize my best.
It's a good one.
Is there anything that you think?
I don't know if
you want to add anything? Oh man,
it's perfect.
But no, if you don't want to add anything, that's okay. But if you want to add something, you're very welcome to.
No, but everything you said, it's fully agree.
Okay.
And
Yes.
yes. You will have your gift box.
Yes. Wine.
I think that you needed to think out of the box.
Sure. Yes, that's the important
to
part.
be as you mentioned, flexible, to have to be able to adapt to the situation. And I think that at work, but it's linked also with your life and with you as a person, and not as a team member or an employee. Is to find a way that you grow and you become who you are,
and you fulfill your potential.
Exactly. And I think that everyone can make great things.
Okay. And then to come back to your previous point, it's true that to be able to adapt to these quite changing, turbulent times, being adaptable and flexible is one thing, but as you correctly said, it's also important to be able to think outside the box, because in order to be flexible and to adapt, we need to come up with ideas, to innovate, to change the way that we've done things in order to be able to adapt to the times. We cannot apply something that we've done before to a situation that is very different to what we experienced before. So I think the values from SOA about thinking outside the box, I think, are very important. Yeah. And do you think that moving forward, when you guys do your recruitment and even your personal development, do you see, I guess, maybe how do you see that changing in the future, if at all? Or do you think this will stay similar to how you're doing it today?
Of course, it will changing because we need to adapt.
We need to adapt. Okay.
No, I think that it will changing, it will evolving with also so the new generation, because I think that each generation also has different different background, different expectations. So no, we will, for sure we will evolve with the time and the environment.
Actually, just related to that quickly. Actually, I'm curious, in SOA, what is the kind of age breakdown in your team? I know this is a takeaway, but actually, I'm just thinking about it.
We have many generations working all together. No, I think that so our youngest team member is 18.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, and I won't share for the for the older.
And then so it's 18 to question mark.
No, but what I can say is that they are young, very courageous to, for example, they leave their countryside, from their hometown, to come and to live and to make to grow in their career path in Segon, because we are based in Segon. And really, I'm very I admire them for that, and they are dedicated and really hard workers, and they are very determined to grow and to become.
Very nice. Okay, well, there you have it, folks. A big thank you to SOA, Source of Asia, and Aurelie and the whole team for allowing us to arrange this podcast and for sharing all this information. Again, seems like a great place to work, and we're very proud of our collaboration together. And hopefully we'll have lots of new and exciting things for you guys in the near future.
Of course we will.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Aurelie.
Thank
See
you
you,
very
everybody.
much, Cedric. Bye.